Hello everybody, it's the 22nd of August today, and I thought I would do a quick catch up on the Chinese wisterias that I've grown from seed. If you're a regular, you may remember that I had a seed kit for Christmas, and sowed the seeds within it and had absolutely no success whatsoever. They all rotted, and a very kind viewer, Stefan, I haven't heard from you for a while, Stefan. I hope you're okay. Maybe you're no longer watching the channel, but Stefan very kindly sent me a packet of collected wisteria from his own plants in his own garden. He sent me 11 seeds and I had 5 germinate, so almost 50% success rate. I potted them up into larger pots this year. A couple of them now have taken off. This one has now grown up off the end of its little cane, as has this one, and I'm doing the loop-de-loop, roundy thing. They're not going to flower. These other two here have soaked a little, but is just starting to take off now. This one is still soaking, so we will see. I mean, that's the things with seeds, you never quite know what each one's going to develop into. The fact that they've grown means that they're stronger plants than the 6 seeds that didn't grow. Obviously, that sounds a bit, sorry, I don't mean to be condescending, but you know what I mean. And obviously these two are stronger than these two in terms of growth. That doesn't necessarily mean these won't catch up. It doesn't necessarily mean that these won't flower better. Only time will tell on that. You may be looking at it and saying, didn't he say 5? Yeah, I did get 5. Of the 5, this one was the strongest grower last year, and so I pushed it up into a bigger pot again than the others, and it has shot up from the top, and again doing the loop-de-loop bit. So I put in a second cane so it can try to grow up that, and we'll just keep growing these, trying to get a good sized trunk. I have cheated a little. If you've been subscribed for a little while, you may remember that about the same time that I was sowing the seed, I purchased a small plant from an online nursery, and not getting any kickback from this, but I use them quite a lot. www.jurassicplants.com. I'm fairly certain they only ship in the UK, but they do a lot of very interesting trees at reasonable prices. As they say, this isn't an advert, and I'm not being paid to say this, just an observation for those of you in the UK who might like to try something a bit different. I bought some interesting rare trees from them, and they always come really well packaged, which is why the postage and packaging is usually more than the trees are, but there you go. Anyway, back to this one. I've been letting it grow in this large pot, and it's been growing a while. I still don't think it's ready to flower next year yet, but I'm going to give it its August prune, and I've decided, after a long time of growing this sacrifice branch, to lose that. The trunk is fattening up quite nicely and has got some interesting movement, and I'm gradually beginning to build a little head up top, so I'm just gonna cut this one back and cut it back, and the rest I'm going to leave. There is also this one, which I purchased as a small plant about 4 years ago now, I think. Again, it's not flowered for me yet. I've been concentrating on thickening up a trunk, and this is the plant that donated some of its shoots as layers to become a fusion project, which we'll check in on in a minute. I've laid a few more in this pot, and I checked it earlier and it's full of root, so I'm going to sever these pieces and expose this trunk. This piece I was going to tie in as well, but I ran it over with the lawnmower a couple of times and it stopped growing. So that was that really. Okay, so that's going to leave me a few scars on the trunk, but it's now giving you a clearer view of that trunk. I'm really quite pleased with this shape and general direction, but for whatever reason it was putting all of its strength into growing those long shoots at the base, which I've now removed. And I haven't really got much growth up top, although I have got 5 branches, so it's forming a small-ish crown. Nothing to be sniffed at, I guess. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shorten these back a little. And who knows, maybe it'll flower, maybe it won't. As for the pot here, if I move the brick I can see lots of root under there, and they put on lots and lots and lots of growth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off these bits that are now the root end. Not receiving anything back from the mother plant. I'm going to shorten these pieces. It's a shame I only got 2, but that's fine, that'll be okay. These can be added into my fusion root exposed wisteria, perhaps in the spring. So here's the exposed root fusion project. It has been growing away rather nicely. If I pan up, it's grown off the end of this 3.5 foot pole, bamboo cane, and so I'm going to shorten it all back. Again, I have no idea whether this will flower next year. Probably not. I've read and heard that they can take as much as 15 years from seed. So you know, I'm going to have to be patient. This probably no more than 6 or 7 years old, but I guess there's always a chance. I'm going to remove some of this wire where I had wired the roots. Obviously these are above ground shoots, but as I said, I can consider this to be an exposed root style tree. And so I'm hoping to fuse it at the base here, which is what this piece of wire is in place for. And obviously I've got a long way to go before I achieve fusion. At the moment this is just loosely holding it all in place, and those other two pieces that we just looked at I intend to put in the mix, as it were, or maybe just one and maybe have 5 roots, I don't know. I will look at it next year, but I want to put in an extra piece at least, and then we can start worrying about fusing them into place once I've got all the roots, as it were. If I can just stand that a bit more upright, like so. Didn't like the angle it was leaning at, so I'll just loosely wrap that round. And that's just intending, as I say, not trying to fuse them as yet, but just trying to get them all to grow in the direction that I want them to be. I feel the root, at least one root, should be this side. Yeah. So there you have it for this one. Bit of a mixed bag, just some updates on my Chinese wisteria. And of course there's some new Chinese wisteria that I recently bought, but we'll catch up with that one another day. For now I shall just say thank you so much for watching. Do all the usual YouTube things, liking, subscribing, comment below, let me know what you think. Most of all, please stay safe everybody.